it has something. So then another one my top 10 list, but it's more top 70 list. It does. It was my top 70 best sits of all time. So this is me a very long video, 70 of them. I like to warn you guys, if it hasn't been posting this video on YouTube, I did include, I think, 5 gay or lesbian couples on the list, as just to honor all sweet seven types, so that people don't think them might force men to be straight by having them watch this video. So there's no that when I get to the gay or lesbian couples, I don't sit them, but I didn't see why people do sit them, so that's why I put them on the list. Pretty good. Okay. This is my top 70 best sits of all time. Number 70 over here we have is Tommy and Alex, and the Spanish TV show I've been watching in called Bia. So many people familiar with what Bia is before I tell you how to sip. So basically in Bia, starting Bia, it does this based off fandom and makes videos there. Alex is in a family that she is a war with, and he was at Zoliath, and I don't know how to say that word. Anyways, he was this taught me to tell Wyatt, so what? I don't know. And Tommy in it is his girlfriend for a few episodes, and so as is one I'm watching right now, they are broken up and I hate that. I think Alex is one of the actors where like people would make a meme by him saying, "What's the reason you like West Die?" and that'd be his waste of his time, and that's it. So he's really selfish to him. But I do waste some of his time, and I thought they were a couple, and I'm really happy about that. 69, I didn't expect to put these two this low on the list, but I think there are other couples better. Number 69 is Alex and Mason's Elizabeth Place. So I love Alex and Mason. They're related. But Owen and Elizabeth Place is I like this story. I like how Mason is a werewolf and Alice is a wizard. I think they had a lot of those teachings that as the show. I just wish that we didn't find out that they both have Austrian in after the special. But I'm very glad that I would let me see Mason again in season 3 as wizards beyond the place. That'd be awesome. On 68 we had the one that I just made a series video about. On 68 we had Red and Silver, some Dane Blitz movie franchise. So Buttons of World is a lot of the couples that are in them, but Red and Silver is a lot. They have a lot of tea moments about the second movie, and I already made a video about all the signs that they're in love, so I don't need to tell you any of them, because I already know all of them from my videos, so later. 67, I only put down 2 non-canon couples dies. Like some mixed scenes that never happened. And I'm putting way well to them. Just a lot of couples that I actually happened to bet them. So 7 we have Jack Frost and Elsa, some Wise Guardians and Frozen. I only slipped these two because I've seen a lot of people like edit them together, and I think they would make a really good couple because of the similar powers they have. And so, alright, I slipped a lot. And 66, we have Woman. George and Agnes. I hadn't put them on the list. As the toy couple that I made up, and so it was Torsa. As I hadn't put them on the list. Wait, why are you reading number 66? There's a lot of couples that I knew saw it as. So George and Agnes, I would say I only said them because those are 2 of my toys, and I find them to be cute together. Plus, as I know that Agnes loves animals, so she'll probably fall in love with an animal like George. And they're both really adorable characters in my mind, so that's why I said them. Uh, 65, we have Tinkerbell and Terrence and Tinkerbell franchise. So is you're asking, no, I don't sip Tinkerbell and Peter Pan to as see the fairy and he's a human, but Tinkerbell and Terrence I definitely sip because as I watched Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure a lot of times, and their friendship I can definitely sip because it's like they spend the whole entire movie together. As I said, it's like still in my events with boyfriend, and Periwinkle sees it. And another reason I said them is because we do find out in the Lost Treasure that apparently every day after work, Terrence still goes to help Tinkerbell. I'm like, he wouldn't devote that much time to her every single day if he didn't love her. Well, since before he dies, probably they hate me for putting these two so low, but we have Charmin, Miss Piggy, and Muppets. So I was telling Miss Piggy they're very cute together, I think, and I only remember them in the few of the Muppets movies. I haven't watched Muppets movies in a long time. I do like them in Muppet movie with Walter and Muppets Most Wanted. They're pretty cute in those 2 movies. And so these 3 I have my first best friend couple, Elmo and Zoe, and Sesame Street. And the only reason why I said that these two, because they were like best friends, so I loved that they were best friends to lovers, and I've been watching Almond Friend and the Lost that I have in DVD, and I definitely said because of that movie, because as they had a fight and then they got back together as friends, and they had kind of like married couple in that movie, because like made her was fight and then they got together at the end, so that's why I said them a lot. In 52, we have Evan Holden, so we're married. So Evan Holden, I was I love the story where I told Holden, and when that was Andy, and they turned me there because as Andy is his best friend. So that's a really interesting backstory, but besides that, William Holden also he did that. And there was the evil ones that I was dating before I broke up. In 61, we had Maddie and Dawson with Maddie. So just like my sort of YouTube fan Taylor, I don't like Maddie and Diddy, I like Maddie and Dawson. That's because I can see if people don't like Maddie and Diddy. I watched the show, and the fact that Diddy left Maddie and then came back and then left her again and then came back because he was dating somebody else is kind of rude. So I suppose off instead because they were two together, and when we died them. In 16, we had Teddy and Bose and Dylan Solly. And Dylan Solly, I would say, is one of my favorite TV shows, not really in like the top 5. His was kind of a weird show. But it seems all have Demi Tetsu. But for suppose Teddy and Spencer, I can see people don't set them because the whole teen scandal, but it's also other reasons because like they were working at Adventureland, and he accepted a job to work inside without her, and he was also working with someone who didn't care that he was with Teddy and still decided to flirt with him, so that's not weird with him. So I took a super Bo instead because he's exactly like a dad, but it's kind of funny that if he's dating somebody that's exactly like a dad. And they were pretty dated when we had them there. 59, we asked Justin Juliet. Some was in place, so I put them higher than Alex and Mason because they were kind of like I wasn't better than Alex and Mason because like the backstory was just with Alex and Mason's, but it was kind of like better to as they were separated like a lot of times, and they actually ended up being the in the end. Meanwhile, Alex and Mason broke up. And I know Justin and Juliet broke up as well, but at least got to see more of them than we did as Alex and Mason. I also like the fact that Juliet is a vampire and Justin is a wizard. That's a cool backstory. Number 58, we had Hannah Montana / Miley Stewart and Jessie. So in the beginning, yes, I did sip Miley and date, but then the whole teen scandal happened, and now I tell it with Jesse. Jesse, he is really nice, and Lindsay about my hairdressers. And they are very cute together. I was so glad they were ending. Glad they were ending. Number 57, we have Nito and James from Solar. So the reason I know why is Topples and Solar on this list because now that I watched it, I actually love it a lot. And so the first Topples and Solar I wanted to talk about was Nito and Jim, and they both up in like season 2 or 3 or so. Oh, and I hate that. But I love all the like friends to lovers, and then back to friends. And they were way too together when we got them together. As for who Nito ends up in the list at the end, I don't waste it that much. I think they're like Nito and Zimba. 56, we have Yemen, Maria, and Solar. So this is our second Solar on top of on the list, and I love them so much. I mean, I hate the fact they broke up, but Yemen and Maria are very good to although they're both singers, and they found love because of that, and they're like friends to lovers, so they're very cute. Now 55, we have Beer and Monroe some beer. It's haven't for the first Watson beer yet, and where I'm at right now, they are broken up, but we know that there's still underlying feelings there. But this still should be in Monroe because it's like Romeo and Juliet, and it's also like Camp Watch because it's like Monroe overhears her singing and wants to find out who the girl with the voice is, and turns out to be Bia, so us is very cute together. Oh, double. At 54, we have Byron with this Del Means Well. So I know I feel on Sip Byron with this is the young big together, and also with this is like a little bit older than Wiley, but I'll wait here. Wiley with this last saw way too to and it was always Wiley that he liked the most. 53, we had my second best friend couple, Ralph and Penelope, like Ralph. So I know that Penelope is a little kid, so it's time for me to sip it with an adult, as in Ralph, but I don't wait here. I think the friend sippers did not for me to sip them, and they have a lot of T-moments throughout the movies. And 52, we have Emma and Lucy, some Blood movie fan size, and it's because they're like best friends, so I love it. They were friends to lovers, and the second movie is based to confirm that they worked together with a tap, I guess, was usually my favorite character, but still. Oh, it's time for them to work together, and I love that. That's Spades. Now 51, we have Medmind and Watson's and Medmind. And Moss and including the TV show and the sequel as what this does. I do like the sequel and TV show, and they were really cute in both of those in my mind, and they were also very cute. Well, the backstory as to what enemies to lovers is, and in TV show, oh my gosh, they were so cute. Firstly, we have Barry and Iris from The Flash. I put them as low because and with a lot of couples in the list that are way better than them, but I still like Barry and Iris. There's a lot of how we get to see Barry date other girls besides Iris, but we know that Iris is the one that he loves most. Number 49, we have Oliver and Felicity from Arrow. So they're probably way better couples than them, that's why it's so well on the list, but I still love Oliver and Felicity. They're really cute together, and I love how like Barry and Iris, we got to see Oliver date other girls, but we knew all along that Felicity was the one you loved the most. Number 48, there's Sweat and Fiona from Sweat, and I really like them to they like how they are like really cute and I like how Sweat in movies they're like so to the villains and Fiona's parents that they belong together even though it's an older princess. Number 47, we have Penny and Sermons and Mr. Peabody and Sermon. So I said these two a lot because as the like best friends in the movie, and I love how the like there would be sort of like enemies to lovers, because as Penny used to bully him in the first parts of the movie with it, and they end up getting along well. And also, and then mostly because in the movie, when Penny's about to marry King Tut, Sermon gets jealous, and the way later on when King Tut like lands on the window and calls out for Penny, Sermon washes him away, and Penny smiles. That does make you laugh. And that makes you sit down because Sermon went and walks away to aid him and didn't want Penny. 46, we have Delphine Pedro's Swerve. So this is the first Swerve couple that actually stayed together throughout the entire show, and I love that because I love Delphine and Pedro. I love how like Pedro is the person whose name's Delphi. Like the first year's friends is Amber, and she kept on and doing mean things because of that. But then when she fell on Pedro, he changed, and I love that. And for 85, there's Dean and Jailbreak from the Emoji Movie. I think this is like one that nobody sips because everybody hates the Emoji Movie. And I love the Emoji Movie. I sit them because it's the very together in it, and I love how Dean has like tossed and Jailbreak and she doesn't feel the same way, but we know that she kind of does. At 44, we have my first gay couple on the list, Dean Castiel and Supernatural. So I made them a couple in my time board, so of course I didn't put them on the list. I would say I don't see them. I would see what people do to the like best friends, and at the end of the show, Castiel tells Dean they loves him, so I didn't see both of them. With 43, we have Diamond Tiara and Rumble. So this one actually made up out of nowhere because the tag is similar. It has like they used to be enemies of the CMC, East at Downtown, and they were tagged together. With 42, we have Phoebe linked to some Sunmans, and linked to only higher them. And I love how they both have superpowers and they made the team. With 41, we have Ceremonious One tomorrow. So I would say that because I don't like Sarah and Ava, you guys probably be wondering if I had to sip with another girl who would sip with, and I would say Mona. I also sip with Zari, Maya, and Tensor, anybody besides Ava, but mostly with Mona because of the Dayway Tower episode in season 4. Because they had played two friends in the episode, and I think they could blossom into love if Ava wasn't around. 4, we have Damien Dot and Malcolm Moen. So this is my last day couple on the list, and I don't really sip them, but I would say I can understand other people would because they're like best friends, and they're so like enemies to others, so they hate each other every day, and they became best friends to the whip. And seeing them together as best friends and working together in Doom World was like really cute, so I didn't see the rest of them. At 39, we have Raymond and Noah from tomorrow, and those two together like how they're together in real life. And I like how they're like enemies to lovers, and love that Noah is a fairy godmother. That's kind of cool. And 38, we have Nate and Zari. He's from tomorrow, and love the love story in season 4. It's kind of cute. Love the friends to lovers. In 37, we have Tasty and Blackstone, Tasty and Tether, and love the love story season 1, and where like the solid Romeo and Juliet because Brett is on the evil side despite a insane, meanwhile Tasty is on the good side, but they fall in love, and now we don't see Brett after season 1, but I think they're still a waiting couple. And so you said, yes, Dane, Bets, and Victorious. So but my dad texted me a bunch of days ago and asked me why I said them so much. It's because as we know that in Taryn is so Bet wants someone who will fight back, and that's Jade. So I said him because as Jade is the type of person that Bet would want to date. At 35, we have William Bo Pete's and Toy Story. I said them a lot because they were taking the Toy Story movies. I thought Bo Peep was one who was interested in Woody at first, and Woody actually really liked her in Toy Story 4. So they're really taking them. So we have Ariel and Eric, some Little Mermaid. And I put in this low because as I don't like the taste of the song, but I still think that they were a couple. I like how one's a mermaid and one's a human. That's the talk. So you see we have as Rapunzel and Eugene, Entangled, and some people like they hate me for putting these two so low on the list, but that's because I feel like a song being kind of like twinsy to me, but they still always set them away. A talents like a thief and a princess. Number 32 we have as Anna and Kristoff from Frozen. So right how Anna and Kristoff are like friends to lovers in the first Frozen movie. He liked the backstory and they're related to. Let's say one we have Jessie and Buzz from Toy Story. I like how they're friends to lovers. And even though I don't like Toy Story 3, there are a lot of like related moments to them that I like to rewatch a lot of times on YouTube. So there's that. And there are also a lot of them in Toy Story 5. They're related to Toy Story 5. Let's say we have Sonic and Amy from Sonic, and Sonic 3 hasn't come. Sonic 4 hasn't come out yet, where Amy comes in, so we don't really know is the Sonic movie version hasn't trusted Amy, but we've seen in the TV shows that they have a way to friendship, so we submit that. In 29, I said that Cinema and Fast Sensory, some testing dolls. This is the only test dolls that they have in here. And set them a lot because like after Cinema turns third, it's like a Fast Sensory. He actually writes a lot, and we can tell us that Smiley writes a lot as well. And 28 is Applejack and Rainbow Dash and My Little Pony. So let me just be clear: this is my last lesbian couple on this list, and I don't accept them, but I didn't see other people accept them because it's like they fight a lot with a married couple, and then they end up together in the end of the show. So that's why I put them on the list. In 27, we have Fire Sign Distorts, My Pony, and I put them as well because there are other couples that are way better than them, but I do really like Fire Sign Distorts. I love how Fire Sign is like the only person that Distort cares about. And they're really two friends to lovers. In 26, we have Damien and Elena, some Vampire Diaries, and they love how they're like sort of enemies to friends to lovers. And they're like two together. And you can tell that it happened at some point. Because as when we found out that Damien was actually the one that Elena met first. We knew that it would happen, so I love that it happened. In 25, we have Henry and Solowitz, Henry Danger. And some because they're like best friends, so I wasn't be they were best friends to lovers. And there's really two that is best friends. In 24, we have Maui and Moana. So I know that Maui is a dog, but technically Moana becomes a dog in sequel, so I count that as canon. And it's simply because they're like best friends, so they were best friends to lovers, and we can tell that Maui he is like trying when Moana almost dies in Moana 2, and there's a little hint to him loving her in the Mobile Dame. In Mobile Dame, there's like this story where Maui leaves, and he's like, and he tells the islands, if I don't make the bet, tell Moana I love her. So I thought that was 10. In 23, we have Jack Skellington and Sally. So 50 is two because I love how Sally has a plus on Jack Skellington. He doesn't even know it until the end of the movie. He ended a teacher. In 22, we have Austin and Allie. And I love the love story of a teacher and they have a lot of related songs that sing to this episode. In 21, I has Sunny and Sad, some Simon Sands, and so I like how they're like enemies to lovers. And they like each other, and even I love how even though they broke up, it's like they still were like each other. On time we had Bella and Edwards and Twilight. And I said them because Edward is the one that Bella loves the most. On 19 we have Aladdin, Jasmine and Aladdin. And I set them both in the anime version and live action version as in the way treated together in both those versions. Alright, then we have Ricky and Gina, some High School Musical series. Certain because I love how like friends to lovers is in a way to in season 4. At 17 has Tiana and Naveen, some lessons of Fod, and the way to together with they're like sort of enemies to friends to lovers, and they were rated together as Fods. At 15 we have Boaz and Mita. Is and Danger Force, and I think they still rename one, but it's fine. Suppose me that I sip it a lot because they're like best friends. Well, they're best friends as they're best friends to lovers, and there is like this one episode that proves that, and they were. So in it, Mita is kicked out of the team, and we see that Bo still wants to meet up with her and wants to play a TV show together, even though she's kicked out of the team. And we see that he doesn't act weirdly to her when not a soda, and he acts in subset with his attitude. And then we see Bo stood up and Mita, and then we see Bo is happy that Mita rejoins the team. So I said because of that one episode, and also said because of the episode where they pretend to be a couple, and it's like they have to be a couple. Number 15 we have Nick and Julie's son, Utopia. And everybody sits used to do like best friends, so it'd be awesome if they were best friends to lovers. And Julie says he was as Nick at the end of the first movie, and then Nick returns to love in second movie. So 14 we have Troy and Debbie Alice, High School Musical, and the love out the white friends, the lovers, and the white teaching together, and Disney wanted two songs done. And so they have Blossom and Jared, some and Pablo's reboot. And then the White House, they don't date in Pablo's reboot because it's like both of them are not really ready for a relationship, but we know that they like each other a lot, so it's kind of cute. At 12, I have Antonia Amato, Super Me, and Issa Demola, Beta has the way teaching does it, and Super Me too, and I know that in the end, Antonio turned out to be a better player, and this was one goal to the Nets, but I still think that he was way too with Marta. And I did make the time but bottom, so. And 11, we have Edmund Hutchinson, Once Upon a Time. So, then we have the White House, the White Enemies to Lovers. And the way teaching did it. And I know this probably be my top 10 because I sleep with a pillow of Hutchinson Once Upon a Time, but they're not in my top 10 because there's a lot of troubles. They're in my top 10 that I'll be better than them. It's now in my top 10. At 10, we have Poppy and Brance. I set them a lot because I like how they're like best friends to lovers. I like how Brance always had a trust in Poppy and we all knew it. And the way to do. Number 9, we have Destin, Nina, and Serena. I loved the love story, like Nina was Felicity for now, and Destin and was trying to find Felicity because they found love as Felicity, and they found that Felicity was Nina, who we actually really liked, so and they did that as well. Number 8, we have Simon and Amber, and Serena, and I love them together. I love how they're like enemies to lovers, and I love how Amber changed her ways because of Simon. That's not cute. Oops. Number 7, we have Zoe and Andy, Nuts Out franchise. I said them a lot because they're like friends to lovers, and I love how in second movie we can see that Zoe has a trust on Andy, and Andy didn't feel the same way at the end of the movie. And as I'd point out that I would have put like Andy and maybe Drayson on this list, as Drayson didn't disappear in second movie. Yeah, in second movie wasn't like geared towards it's Zoe and Andy being together, so sorry, Drayson. Number 6, we have Betty Mouse and the Onions. And so I love them that I love the little bad story where like Mal, there was a spell on him, and I gave him a little puss to love her, and they're very cute together. Number 5, we have Sam, Mitzi, and Tamp Watt, and Tamp Watt is my favorite. It didn't tell with movies. He's in Tamp Watt too. My favorite didn't tell with movie of all time. And I love to see the like friends to lovers, and I love the whole backstory that it's Poppy and Bia, where like a scene overhears a scene and he wants to find out who the door and deal with voices. And the way to do. 4, we have Bolt and Mittens and Bolt, and these two I say a lot because as the best friends. So I love that they were best friends to lovers, and never a dog and cat, but that they were together in the movie. And you can tell that Mittens kind of like bald because there's in like one part we found that she wants them to live together. It's like so cute. It is my but nice nuts pit. At number 3 we have Zayn Allison, who are on my set. Not number 1 in this list, but I still decided to teaser them to smuts. I like how they like friends to lovers, and I like how they like Romeo and Juliet because he's a zombie and she's a human, so they can't be that everybody hates zombies, and then they're waiting the sudden movies. Number 2 has Ren and Sarah, and I still sip these two, even though they both old up and Ren is now dead. I sip them a lot because they were teaching them in season 1, and like Leonard is the one that was like most like Sarah because Leonard used to be a villain, and Sarah was also kind of used to be a villain, and because as the bloodlust that had been brought back to life Davis. So I like how the boy is similar, and I love the love story in season 1. For number 1 has a few honorable mentions, and so of course there's Hit Up and Astrid. They love other fans to lovers, but but these couples way better than them. And there's Phineas and Bella. These couples way better than them, so I want I put on the list. And there's when you sip Alvin, Chipmunks, and Chipettes. They're not way tanning, so that's why I didn't put them on this list, but I do sip them. And there's also the real life couples like Tom Holland and Zendaya, and Taylor Swift and Kanye West, and couples like that. And I didn't put them on the list because they're like real life couples, and this is just couples from TV shows and movies. So thank you. Alright, number 1 is Lynn Mateos and Slower. And because I put number 1 because the most cute couple that I've seen so far. And when I was watching Soy Luna, I loved how Mateo like sang a song on what her bat in season 2, and I love how in season 3 Mateo like hurt himself in order for her to see the video. And proved to her that him and Amelia kissing was a mistake. And I love the love story. For now, those are all my favorite sips of all time. And for now, Luna and Mateo are my favorite sip of all time. That's the whole entire list, and this video is going to be very, very long, so I hope it has a Taylor scenes for a very long video. But that's the whole entire list, so